first time I met Scrappy, shoot, I think it was at Wild Card, but we knew of each other already because of like posting and Instagram and stuff. So, and I saw him spar some guys that were a lot more experienced than him, and they were supposed to do X, Y, and Z to him, and they weren't able to do any of those things. And it's like, man, this kid has it, you know, like he has the natural ability. Then it's crazy because I never thought I would be training him, you know. And, fast forward to now, we've been together since his pro debut, and he's racked up a record of 5-0, 4 knockouts, and it's been a pleasure to work with him.
We have a great relationship. The good thing about me and Julian is his warm brain, you know. So I understand everything he's trying to. He preaches, and it makes the chemistry's there, so it's much easier. You know, right before I even go to the corner, I already know the adjustment that I have to make. You know, but Julian is there to remind me. But we think alike, we understand the game. And yeah, I mean, I think chemistry is super important. So, and it's there. He's young, I'm young. He's hungry, I'm hungry. We want to be the best. And yeah, we still got much to learn. But it's great chemistry, and I think that's super important. You know, you gotta be able to understand.
You know, he's like 5'4", but in his brain, he's like 8 feet tall with like 600 pounds pure muscle. He's a monster in his brain, and that's what you need. You know, I don't care what anybody says. This is not a game. You know, this is not a game, and it's not something where you can have humility towards your opponent in a way where it's like, you know, you should have humility in victory, but you shouldn't have humility towards your opponent before the fight. That doesn't mean like you don't have to act like an idiot, but you can't think that this guy's better than you in any kind of way. You know, if you think he's better than you, he probably is. You know what I mean? And that you're already lost mentally.
Chemistry is the big part, but he's just a smart trainer, right? And boxing is not about just fighting, right? You got to know your opponent. There's game plan. He understands game plan, styles. It's just so much that he understands, and most trainers in this boxing world don't know. But we know. We got the blueprint, so I'm comfortable. And whoever you put in front, we'll be able to pick them apart and do our thing.
We get those guys in boxing who get a check to survive. They're not there to win, and they're there to live and live with the least amount of damage, you know. And this guy, I'd seen him fight a lot before, the guy he fought, and I knew he had a very good like survival ability. So unlike the other fighters, Scrappy had been able to just like kind of bully his way to those knockouts and those knockdowns. And it was a good learning experience for him because in the gym, you know, he sometimes makes the same mistake. You know, the art of war, they say, know yourself, know your enemy. And sometimes if the enemy's not worth anything, you know, he's not even remotely close to your level, you're just going to be able to blow through him. You know what I'm saying? But you get against a more experienced guy, a savvy veteran, a guy who knows how to survive, you're going to have to use your skill a little bit to get these guys out of there. And I think it was a good eye-opener for him that he can't just pretty much like muscle his way through these guys, all these guys, you know. So it's got him using his skills a lot more to get these knockouts.
Literally told me like, yo, you did a great adjustment. You know, you didn't get the knockout, but you're able to adjust and win the fight, right? By outboxing, you can't knock everybody out. Sometimes you might have to just go on your jab, you know, and box people, right? Sometimes you just gonna have to walk towards your opponent. So, I mean, every fight is different, every opponent is different. There's 100 ways to break a motherfucker down, so we know it. And yeah, but I mean, Junior's he's gonna support me no matter what. So I know I could trust on him.
I expect him to not make the same mistakes as he did last fight. we're fighting a similar guy. I'm not in any way, shape, or form worried about getting the victory with this kid. I know Scrappy was gonna do his thing, but if he wants to stop this guy, he's gonna have to use his skills to do so. It's not gonna be like a muscle through him kind of guy. This guy knows how to survive as well, similar to the last guy. You know, I try to give references, in all respect to, like, for instance, Nonito Donaire. He was getting a lot of one-punch knockouts, and he started just looking for them. I mean, same thing happened to Tyson. He was knocking everybody out, and he stopped using his jab. He stopped, like, setting it up, and it got to a point where he stopped losing them. He started losing those knockouts because he wasn't doing the priming. He wasn't doing what he needed to do beforehand to set those things up. He was just looking for it. So I'm trying to get Scrappy to, hopefully this fight, we've drilled it enough for him to use his skills and to get the result we desire.
I'm coming to stop this dude, man. I'm destruction. Like, this dude hasn't been stopped. He's a tough opponent. 8 rounds, right? Scheduled for 8 rounds. I don't think he's going on 8. But listen, I'm gonna go in there and do what I have to do, and I'm gonna stop it. I'm gonna take this boy's soul. So I chose this life. So yeah.